Welcome to the Swirl to Investment News Network. News by and for the Swirl to Investment community. Hope you enjoy. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? And welcome to the Swirl to Investment News Network. Okay, tonight I got two stories I want to talk about. Okay, um, we hear this thing that's going on called black femicide, right? Where black women are unalived like 4.5 every hour. Okay, um, and we're seeing this across the nation now. To be fair, there are people getting unalived all over the place, but black women have the highest percentage when it comes to unaliving. Okay, when it comes to human trafficking, um, you know, and also the most abused, the most unprotected, most disrespected. We know this, right? We hear it all the time. We talk about it all the time. Okay. Um, and who's contributing to black femicide? Okay. I would say, to be fair and honest, all groups of men are doing this. Okay. The stats, if you look at the stats, it's mostly black men that are doing this. And, it would make sense because black women are the most race loyal. So those are the men they're mostly around. But beyond who's doing it, the problem more than who's doing it is how to stop it. And can we ever stop it? Can we ever fix it? Um, I don't think you're going to fix it totally. Maybe slow it down, maybe put some preventive measures and maybe change some laws, maybe add a hate crime to it. Across, in different states, they got bills that they've passed to put in extra measures to protect black women and girls. Okay. Will that stop it? No. Will it slow it down? Hopefully. Okay. Um, and, I have a solution to it. It won't fix it, but I think it would make it better. And people are going to hate me for this, but black women opening up their options. Black women dealing with men at their same economic level. Okay. Um, I think that would help. There's so many elements in this. Okay. Um, could be income inequality. It could be these men are crazy, psychopaths, and jealous. Okay. Um, but that's one of my solutions, I would say. Open up your options, gear more towards marriage, more towards safer neighborhoods. Okay. I believe women that are married are more protected than single women. Okay. Now, women shouldn't have to get married to be protected, and that don't ensure protection, because sometimes you have a husband that's going to unalive you or do you wrong or go in a jealous rage, or and I think more than going through the stats on who's doing the black femicide is people coming together to stop it. Will we ever get there? Will people ever march for black women? Will they ever take to the streets because of the black femicide? They did it for George Floyd, right? Black Lives Matter. Cities were burned. People went bananas. Would they do that for black women? Would they do it to try to stop black femicide? This is just some things, just thinking out loud. How can you fix it in the community you're in? I've wondered how I could fix it in the state I'm in, where there's only 2% of the population is black. I mean, it needs to be fixed everywhere, right? I mean, how can we do this? People have suggested pass out flyers, talk to your congressman, find out who's your representative in your district. But really, it takes numbers. It takes a bunch of people doing something drastic to make it happen. And I don't mean resorting to violence or nothing like that, but just getting politicians' attentions to change the laws. But anyway, I got a couple stories I'm going to show you. And these are sad stories. Okay. And one of the women in this story is a mother of 4, unalived by her husband. Okay. The other story I got is a black woman. She's pregnant and unalived by her boyfriend. Okay. These are stories I can find on the internet pretty easy. Okay. And I tried to make it fair. I tried to find a white guy that did it to a black woman. I couldn't find it. I know the Swirling Gone Wrong crowd. I know they got an archive of this stuff, and they should send me some stuff so I can be fair and objective, because, I'm not going to say all black men do this. That would be a false statement, but the majority are. The majority of black men or black women are with black men. Okay. And we got to know the stats, to solve the problem, right? It's not to point the finger, it's to solve the problem. That's how we all should focus. Not be worried about, okay, well, white men do it too. And, and to be fair, most white women are unalived by white men. Okay. I understand the other side of the argument. Okay. But in reality, black women are the most unprotected. Malcolm X said it in the 60s, and it's still that way today. In fact, it's worse. Okay. So we have a problem. And how do we tackle it? How do we fix it? Okay. All right. Let me get to the first story, okay? See which one I want to do. Okay. All right.
Authorities have charged Imani Robinson's husband, Donnell Anderson, with the crime. They say the search continues for a second suspect. Fox 5's Joyce Duke is live from the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office with more on that developing story and reaction from family members. Joy, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Chris, I can tell you that family members are devastated when loved ones of Imani Robertson stopped being able to get in contact with her in mid-July. Her mother's.
All right. Remember that name, Imani Robinson. Okay. Another black woman is unalived. Another statistic of black femicide. Okay? Think about that name. And you know what? Whenever I do a story like this, I should write down all the names. I'm going to go back and make a list. We need to remember these names, okay? We know who George Floyd is. We got that. Okay? We know Breonna Taylor, right? But do we know Imani Robertson? You know, this is a local news station. Okay? I haven't seen it on Fox News or CNN. Maybe it's been there. I don't know. Okay?
Said they immediately knew something was wrong. Well, at a news conference earlier today, her mother said her worst fears were confirmed when they got the call from investigators who discovered her body.
It's not the news that we wanted, but I'm happy that we can hold them accountable.
Emotions ran high Saturday morning for loved ones of 29-year-old Imani Robertson as authorities with the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office said the words they hoped they...
Okay, look at that. You see a beautiful black woman, right? With her children. And some monster took her life. Now these children don't have a mother. And the parents are devastated. For what? Was it jealousy? Was it rage? What caused this? What makes somebody go to that point to where they just take a life? And you can tell she's real young too, got her whole life ahead of her. Children are going to be devastated.
They'd never hear.
We came across an area where we believed to be evidence of a possible body. As we processed that area, an unknown body was discovered.
During a news conference, Sheriff Eric Levitt gave the heartbreaking update that after more than 400 hours of searching for the wife and mother of four, human remains identified by cadaver dogs turned out to be hers.
And I promised them that I was going to find Imani and find out who done something to Imani. Yes. And that today we have done.
Robertson was last seen leaving her mother's home July 6th.
All right. Shout out to law enforcement for, you know, finding the remains and solving this case. Okay. You know, they do a lot of hard work and, you know, trying to solve this stuff. And it's sad that they had to have cadaver dogs to find her body parts. Okay.
16th with her two youngest children. Just 11 days later, her car was found burned near a wooded area off of Camp Creek Parkway.
And it was clear that foul play was evident in the disappearance of Imani.
Levitt said evidence in the case, including blood found inside the victim's home, led investigators straight to her husband, Donnell Anderson. Rockdale County SWAT officers arrested Anderson at an apartment in Atlanta Friday night.
All right, let's take a look at this dude. Okay, that's her husband that did this. You would think somebody's husband would protect his wife. But I don't know what caused him to do this. Maybe it was jealousy. Maybe they're about to break up. Maybe, I don't know. But people break up all the time. People get in divorces all the time. It hurts, it's unpleasant, but life goes on. You know, that young lady didn't deserve to lose her life. And her kids didn't deserve to lose their mother. Okay. Anyway, let's continue.
SWAT officers arrested Anderson at an apartment in Atlanta Friday night.
Donnell Anderson is charged with felony murder, malice murder, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, and there could be more charges.
While the arrest gave Robertson's loved ones some closure.
Today is a very difficult day for our family.
There's still a gaping hole in their hearts. They issued a heartfelt thanks to the community for the continued effort in trying to fill that gap. Anderson is in custody at the Rockdale County Jail. Authorities did confirm that they have secured warrants for a second suspect, but they did not reveal that person's identity. Now, if you have any information, give detectives here a call. That's the latest here live in Rockdale County tonight. Joy Dukes, Fox 5 News.
Joy, thank you.
Yeah, Joy, thank you. Shout out to Fox News 5 putting together that story. And then they said there's what, a possible another suspect? I wonder who that could be. I'll be looking into this and see who that other suspect could be. Could it be a girlfriend? You know, some side chick he was messing with? Could it be one of his buddies that helped him? I don't know. It's just interesting. But for a husband to take his wife's life and take the mother, take out the mother of his children and take the mother away from her children. That's devastating, especially with little kids like that. That will scar them for life. They lost their mother real young. For what? Jealousy? Relationship didn't work? You can't get a life back. Once it's gone, that's it. Such a waste. Too many times we see beautiful young black women being taken out by jealous men going in a rage. Sad. Too bad she didn't find the right man and live out a good life. And like I said, this ain't uncommon. Sadly, it happens all over the country. What, 4.5 every hour? Is that what the count is now? And a lot of times it's domestically, with the husband, with the boyfriend. It ain't like she was just walking in the middle of the road late at night and some crazed lunatic got a hold of her. That was somebody she's married to. Someone she took her marriage vows with. She took it with the guy that said, yeah, I do. 4.5 every 4.5 hours. I mean, one a year is too many. One in a lifetime is too many. But every 4.5 hours? Sad. All right, let me pull this one down. Okay, and this story's sad too. And so unnecessary. Let me put this up here.
Verdict in a major trial. A Baltimore jury has found Michael Robertson guilty of first-degree murder in the case of a pregnant woman who vanished in 2017. WMAR 2 News' Jeff Hager has the reaction from Akia Eggleston's family and their 6-year wait for justice.
When 22-year-old Akia Eggleston didn't show up for her own baby.
What's her name? Akia Eggleston. Remember her name. Another beautiful young black woman taken. And they had to wait 6 years for justice?
Shower in May of 2017. Her family feared something had happened to her.
It was devastating. Actually looking for her and her baby in the woods, behind buildings, under bridges, searching was a nightmare.
A nightmare which has culminated with a guilty verdict for Michael Robertson. A jury convicted Eggleston's former boyfriend on 2 counts of first-degree.
All right, let's back up here. That's her former boyfriend. He looks like a psychopath. He looks like a gremlin. And then let's look at her. She's so beautiful. She could have done better than that. I mean, I'm just saying. But that's not the important part, right? Of course, she looks a lot better than that clown does. But he took somebody's life. Sorry, let me get back. All right, let's look at Shrek here.
Which has culminated with a guilty verdict for Michael Robertson. A jury convicted Eggleston's former boyfriend on 2 counts of first-degree murder for killing her when she was 8 months pregnant and her unborn child. Prosecutors argued that Robertson must have placed Akia's body.
Okay, so he took her life when she was 8 months pregnant. Wow, so she's about to give birth. Wow, that's sad. So he'll be double charged for 2 homicides for her and the unborn child. Yeah.
Inside a trash dumpster, which was emptied long before any of her family or friends realized she was missing.
The trash that she was dumped in was taken to a 10-acre, 40-foot deep lot. They're never going to excavate it. It's already been said. So the best we can hope for is he maybe details the information, but at worst, he never does. He's still in jail for the rest of his life, hopefully.
Robertson could face a...
Okay, so the body was taken to a landfill, where, you know, and when they take the trash, it goes to a landfill. You've seen like at dumps, they have big, heavy equipment. They just crush the trash and just like spread it out and just break it down. So I just wonder if, you know, he probably got her body in many pieces because they probably would have noticed an arm or a leg. I don't know, but yeah, so sad. So he just discarded her and treated her like trash.
Pair of life sentences in a sentencing hearing scheduled for October 25th. A fitting fate, according to Akia's family, after offering her the hope of starting a life together with their new baby, only to cut both short.
I'm so happy. Words cannot explain how happy I am that this is over.
At the Cummings Courthouse in downtown Baltimore, Jeff Hager, WMAR 2 News.
Okay, take a look at her. Real young, beautiful, has her whole life ahead of her. Only to be unalived and discarded as garbage. I just wonder what goes through these guys' minds. They got to be possessed by the devil. I'm serious. To take somebody's life like that. Just so sad. What if she hooked up with the right man that took care of her? You know? And we look at that crazy looking possessed dude that looks like Shrek. I mean, she could have done so much better. But she looks real young, a lot younger than he does. I wonder if he got a hold of her when she was real young and exploited her. Because you know how these beta punks like to get young women? You know? These beta dumpling pieces of crap, they like to get the young girls. Why? So they can control them. You know, because when you're real young, when we're all young, right? We're kind of dumb because we haven't experienced life. And I don't want to say dumb, but we're just unexperienced. We don't have that wisdom that people that are older have. And he probably got a hold of her. She's real young. And he probably manipulated her. You know, and then she gets pregnant and then offs her and the baby. She's real young, had her whole life ahead of her, you know, gone forever. And the child didn't even get to be born. So, you know, that's 2 lives gone. For what? Jealousy? I don't even understand this. I mean, we all been rejected in life, right? We move on and find somebody else. There's millions of people. I get it. She's beautiful and he's probably heartbroken, but you want to take her life? Wow. These are two examples of black femicide. And these aren't strangers that they just ran into. She was dating this guy. The other woman was married to the guy. Most of these cases are happening with people they know. I don't get it. Could my theory be wrong? Maybe these women should open up their options? Well, people say, well, they could get a crazy white man that would do that too. Yes. Yeah, that could happen. There are evil men in all groups. Yes. You know, would the numbers be less? And how do you fix it? How do you make a dent in this? Because I'm telling you, I could say right now, okay, look, here in 6 months, we're going to get together. We're going to go to New York or Los Angeles. And we're going protest black femicide. How many people would show up? How many? I tried this on YouTube one time. I said, hey, let's get together and meet somewhere. There were like 15 people excited. I only met one person. Me and Sandy met one person. People ain't going to march for black women. Now, if it's a black man unalived by a white cop, oh my God, everybody's down for that one. Black Lives Matter, round it up and get it moving. But nobody's marching for this young lady. Nobody's protesting for her. And I hate to say this, but I don't think anybody will. Or the other young lady. For some reason, and tell me if I'm wrong, but for some reason, if a black man is unalived by a white cop, the whole nation goes bananas. But if a black woman's unalived, people don't do nothing. Even if it's by a police officer. There's been women that have been unalived in weird cases, right? The Sandra Bland case. You guys remember that? Was there protest on that? If there was, it's real little. It's like nobody cares. Heck, that case in Memphis, with those black police officers unalived that black man in the street, right? Well, they were getting riled up, but it wasn't a white cop, so it didn't really escalate. It didn't really take off. But they had more interest in that than a black woman. And it's sad. This is our national treasure. Beautiful black women being unalived by jealous idiots. Maybe black women do need to date and marry out more often. Maybe the men they're around don't deserve to have them in their life. God's judgment on a nation will be how the nation treats the women. And with this black femicide going on, what judgment is God going to bring down on us? I'm just saying. All this is unnecessary. If you couldn't have a relationship with her, leave her alone. Go to somebody else. Anyway, it's just sad. You know, and I could have a news story every night if I wanted to. I could find a black woman being unalived every night if I wanted to. And I'm telling you, who's bringing this issue up? What are we doing? In every state it's happening, yes. It's not just in the big cities. It's not just in Atlanta or Philadelphia or New York. It's happening on the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, down south, up north. You know, it happens more in, the bigger cities because there's more people, of course. But when this is ever brought up, what do people say about it? They never really dig in the stats who's doing it, do they? Well, we don't want to offend a certain group. Someone said divest or die. Is that what black women need to do? Divest? Get out of there? Honestly, I think more black women that date out and open up their options, I believe will make them safer. Will it solve the problem? No. Because you're going to have evil white men in the mix too. Okay? And black women, when you open up your options, make sure you vet, and have your standards in case your vetting process looks great but goes south. Look for crazy behavior. Look for insecurities. Does he always have to be the center of attention? Let's talk about what signs these women could have looked for to avoid this tragedy. Okay? What could they have looked for in these guys? Maybe some insecurities. Maybe if you don't pay enough attention to him, he gets hurt and, acts kind of crazy. Does he over-sexualize you? Does he seem like he's distant when you share things about you? Does he seem like you don't have much compassion? Not a lot of empathy? Is he always worried about what you can do for him? Do you make more money than he does? Is he providing? Are you providing for him? Are you doing the 50-50 plan? Because if a man really loves you, he'll move heaven and earth to make sure you're taken care of. If he really loves you, he'll lay down his life for you. And is marriage the answer? The one lady was married. Well, you can marry an idiot too. Marriage ain't going to make you safe. Unless you marry the right one. You know? Look for the signs, ladies. When you're dealing with men, look for the signs. I'm telling you. How does he see you? Does he like you because you got a banging body? Or does he really love you? Does he want to spend every moment with you? When you're in pain, does he feel it? Does he forget about his needs because he loves you so much he's worried about your needs? Because I tell you, when you have true love, your wants and needs, you forget about them because you're focused on the one you love. I think we should have classes. I think black women should go through classes to look for the red flags. I think so. Would that help decrease the black femicide? I mean, I think all people should look for the red flags. We all should go through some classes. Do we even know what red flags are? And I'm talking to men and women. Do we say, oh my God, she's fine, and just jump in? Ladies, does he turn you on, and does he say the right things, and you think he looks good, so you just jump in? And you don't even know who he is. All you know is you're attracted to him, and he turns you on. There are evil people that are very attractive. Okay? Evil people come in different walks of life, different races, different ethnic groups. Some are creepy looking, some are very attractive. Some are very intelligent. Some will sweep you off your feet and you won't even know what had hit you. That Ted Bundy was a smooth character, huh? Women were falling in love with that dude. Even when they found out he did all this evil stuff, which blows my mind. It just tells me how much of a lunatic people are. How disturbing that is. These women are beautiful. Yeah, please help their families. Help their children. A vetting class would be great. Let's do a vetting class. On one of these lives, let's come together. Let's have a panel. And I'll write up some stuff on how to vet. And you come up with some stuff. What signs do we look for? When you go on the first date, is he touchy-feely right away? Could be a red flag. Is he focused on your butt and your chest instead of what you have to say? Does he hesitate bringing you home to meet his family? Does he come see you when he has time? Because I tell you what, when I was dating my wife, I made time to see her. Every chance I had, I went and seen my wife. I wouldn't disappear for a while and then come see her when I wanted to see her. Do these guys do that to you, ladies? Are they so busy they can't see you, but when they need to be with you, all of a sudden they come crawling in at a weird time of the night or something? Vet. We need a vetting class. Let's have a vetting class. And you know what? It's hard to prevent black femicide if you're not, in the house where the guy does that to the woman. But maybe if you can look for the signs, maybe you can avoid something that turns out to be tragic. Maybe you can pick up on those insecurities. Maybe you can pick up on that stuff, that weird behavior. Maybe you can pick up on, maybe he's jealous of you, but he really don't have empathy for you. That's a red flag. Does he fly off the handle when he don't get his way? I've never been on a date. Black pregnant women are killed at higher rates? Really? Wow, I didn't know that. I've seen stories of men that try to delete their girlfriends because they're pregnant. There was I forget the guy's name. He was an NFL player, right? I think he played for the Carolina Panthers, right? Millions of dollars. And his girlfriend got pregnant and he unalived her. Ended up going to prison, lost his career and everything. And that dude had plenty of money to take care of her and the child. Why would you do that? But there are stories like that. And there's millionaires that do this stuff. It ain't just poor, desperate dudes that get a girl pregnant and just decide to delete her. There's millionaires that do that. People that have plenty of money. But I didn't know black pregnant women are unalived at higher rates. I did not know that. I guess I need to look at the stats. But anyway, I mean, seriously, I think a vetting class would be a wonderful idea. We're not subject matter experts, but you know what? We can bring what we do know, relationships we've been in, and tell you how we vetted. Heck, I'm 54. I've been on this earth more than most of you here. I could give you some experiences on how I vetted, how I should have vetted, mistakes I've made, the red flags I looked past. Then you say, well, you're a white man, and how does that help a black woman? Well, some things are similar. Sometimes human nature is kind of, in a way, the same, even between genders. I know it's different. We're different men and women, but there's certain things I see that you might see. Jealousy is a big one. Okay? Now, we all have a little bit of jealousy. Let's be honest. But some people just, they don't want you to go nowhere. They want you to stay in the house. They don't trust you. Have you been in a relationship like that? Ladies, when I was in the Army, I had a soldier that was so jealous of his wife. He didn't want her to work. He didn't want her to go to the store. He tried to control her. And I don't know, maybe she did something to get him that way. I don't know. But I'm telling you, you can't live like that. You got to have trust. But some people, and it's sometimes it happens because the person did something to get them that way. But sometimes people are just jealous and just think you're doing something you're not. In a relationship like that is unhealthy. And both men and women act that way. Okay? I've seen women jealous too. They try to control the husband too, or the boyfriend. That's not healthy. You got to have trust in a relationship or you'll lose your mind. Okay? And if you don't trust them, you shouldn't be with them anyway, because it'll create problems. But that's a red flag. Maybe a guy you're with has a bunch of friends that are women that he hangs out with. And I'm not saying men can't be friends with women. They can, but how do they handle that friendship? Is he alone with them? Friends that way? Or is it a group thing? Hey, we're all friends, you know? Red flags, red flags. But, I mean, we could go on. I got a lot of ideas I could put on paper, guys. And I'll do this. I'll make a list. I'll make some slides about vetting, looking for red flags. And you do that too. Think about the red flags. What do we need to look for? Okay, sometimes it's hard because we're attracted to that person and we lose our mind. We're just focused on them. We're focused on how good they look that we forget to look for the red flags. We're human. We do that, right? Well, we got to look for the red flags. Okay. Trust is important. Yes, you got to have trust. If you don't have trust, your relationship is going to be a nightmare. Okay. I'm going back to school in a few weeks. Last chance for these white men's to holler at me. All right, there you go, white men. Holler at Afro Puff Queen, okay? You know, and make sure you do it right. Don't be coming with red flags, okay? She'll kick you to the curb if you do. If I were looking for a man, I'd look for generosity. Yeah. How is his behavior? Is he kind? Is he fun to be around? How does he treat you? You know, sometimes red flags are so obvious, but we're so attracted to that person, we just, yeah, that's not right, but well, I could change it. Don't get caught up in the Build-A-Bear, you know, mindset. Ladies, don't do it. Don't get caught up in the Build-A-Bear. No. Black women, you do this a lot. Okay? You got such a kind heart and you're loving and nurturing. You'll take a man and think, okay, I could work on him. I can make him better. You're at that Build-A-Bear. Okay? You got your bear. You think your bear, you know, you're attracted to the bear. You love your bear, right? He's everything you wanted. Okay? And you're going to make him the way you want your bear. Okay? You might even dress your bear. Put on what you like, the outfit you like to see him in, right? My wife does that to me. You know, sometimes we'll be, hey, let's go shopping, and she'll buy me clothes. This will look good on you. Try this on. Okay? That's okay. You know, if you got true love, you can do the Build-A-Bear there. But sometimes, ladies, you try to build him into something he's not. You try to change him in the man you want. You can't do that. He's got to want to change, and only God can change him. You can't change him. And it's hard. It's harder for men to change than it is women. Okay? Because we're knuckleheads like that. We get set in our ways, and we just, you know, it takes the act of God to straighten us up sometimes. Okay? So you don't want to get in the Build-A-Bear thing. Don't do it, ladies. Okay? I know you're loving and kind and you pour everything into him. And you think, well, he's going to understand that he's getting all that love from you, and he's just going one day say, oh, thank God for her. She's everything to me. And next thing you know, he run off with the side chick. And then he does the same thing to her down the road. Don't build a bear. You need to have that pre-built bear, the one that's got it together. Okay? And look, we're all guilty of the build-a-bear mindset. Men and women, we try to change. I was in a relationship before I got married, and I thought I could change the woman and we were going to be great. And I was so attracted to her and I was so in love. The red flag, whatever. Buy red flags. I want her. Oh, yeah. Well, before too long, I wanted to get away. And I prayed to God to get me out of that situation. I tried to build a bear. It don't work. Okay? And maybe these ladies, maybe they tried to build a bear mindset. Maybe they tried to change these guys. Okay? That one woman, she probably said, yeah, he looks like Shrek. He's ugly, but he's my ugly Shrek. Let me throw an outfit on him. Let me get some accessories to make him look better. And maybe he'll come around. Okay? No, that Build-A-Bear turned into Shrek and he ripped the clothes off and he lost it. And what he did is he took this young lady's life, her beauty, her kind heart, her innocence, and threw her in the trash, along with her unborn child. Now the family's devastated. And we're watching our national treasure being unalived, being mistreated. So what do? Maybe, ladies, what you should think about, you don't want to be a statistic. Vet. If you go on a date, make sure you're at a place where you can escape if you need to. A place where there's so many people around, he can't try nothing. Okay? I know sometimes people are so attracted, they'll go wherever he takes you. And most times, it just turns into a date and you do your thing and go about your business. But that one time, you might be with someone that has an alternative motive for you. You could be safe your whole life and do everything right. But that one time you slip up can cost you your life and everything. And ladies especially, black women especially, you got to be on your guard more than anybody. More than white women, Asian women, Hispanic, Middle Eastern women, black women, you're in the most danger. So you really got to take this serious. And for some black women, they need to date and marry out. Get out of, divest. Okay? But whether you divest or not, you need to vet these dudes. You need to have a game plan. You need to look for the red flags. Okay? And I think I'm going to come up with some vetting, okay? And ladies, I want you to do the same thing, okay? And when we do this vetting show, okay, probably do it next week sometime, okay? But I want you to write some stuff down, and I want people to participate in this, okay, if we do this. Because just me giving you my ideas, you might miss ideas from other people. And you know what? Probably the best advice black women can get is from other black women that have been in that situation. I don't know what black women go through. I don't have a clue, except for what my wife tells me are black women that I'm friends with. I'm just saying, you know. And my, I don't know what's going on with my camera though. This internet up here is crazy. But seriously, black women talk to each other. Look for the red flags. Ladies, you've been in dates, you've been in situations where things have happened, right? Share that with other women. Let them know. Have you had a guy make his move and just be forceful? And was there a red flag that you kind of overlooked? Were you in a relationship where you tried the build a bear effect and it went bad? Share that. Share that. Because all you're going to get from me is my experiences. A white man married to a black woman, yes, but came from a pretty much white neighborhood. Okay? When you see white man in the dictionary, you'll see my picture. Okay? I'm the everyday white American guy. From the white American neighborhood, from the white American town. Okay? So a lot of stuff, black women you go through, I don't know. And my wife came from a white community. Okay? So she's been mostly around white people. So I might not have all the best, advice for you ladies. I mean, I think I got good advice, but ladies, you have the best advice for each other. You really do. So if we do this, I want participation. It's one thing in me doing a movie review by myself. That's cool. But something like this, where we need to be educated, where we need to look for red flags, who's the best one to teach you black women? Other black women. Tell me if I'm wrong. I just think black women share a lot of the same experiences. I don't share the same experiences black women do. Okay, I'm just saying. The white power structure, okay. I don't. Okay, I don't share the same experiences. Ladies, you do. All right? So, hey, these are sad stories, but seriously, think about it. You don't want to be a statistic, okay? Help each other. Just talking about it, looking for the red flags, that can save your life. Okay? And ladies, I would give you advice, be with a man that's at your economic level or higher. Okay? As I'm going to tell you, men that make less than you, okay? And if you're the breadwinner and doing most of the work, I'm going to be honest, a man ain't going to feel like a man. Okay? Even if he's a beta dude looking for that couch and hot plate, he still ain't going to feel right. It's not natural. We don't feel good when women are taking care of us. We really don't. So you want a man that's, has more finances than you. Be hypergamous. It's nothing wrong with that. We feel better as men when we're taking care of our wives and family. We feel pretty good. But if she's doing the work, we don't feel good. And you know what? Women have a tendency not to respect the men that they're having to take care of. She might love you with all her heart, and your marriage might last forever. But deep down inside, she don't really look at you like that. She don't really respect you. And it's not because she don't want to. It's just not natural. Okay? Hey there, Pro. How's it going?
It's going fine. I feel better than ever.
Oh, good, good, good. I'm glad you do.
A little too much fun, so I had to tone it down. But I got like 30 leads, so I'm not staying long. So I
Oh,
got
okay.
yeah. So I've been home since Tuesday.
Okay, good. I'm glad
Yeah.
you're doing better. Look, yeah, my prayers are with you always. Me and Sandy, we always pray for you. Um, yeah, but I'm glad you feel better. You sound good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, it's been an exciting week, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
You know, but yes, we have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. Black
Yeah,
women and white men.
we do. You're right. We do. And I looked at the stats, and oh my god, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm going to do a show on this. Oh man, I look at the marriage stats from 1980 to 2023. In 1980, 3% of black women were married to white men. 3% in 1980. 2023, it's 21%. Let that sink in. It's 4 times what it was in 1980. So that's pretty good news there. Um, so black women are opening up their options. I mean, 1980 is not a long time. I know some of you weren't born in 1980. I get it. You're young, but you
I
know.
was born in the 1980s,
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah, but look, it's 4 times as high as it was when you were born. So something's happening. And you know what? Black women, white men, we're the most successful. Okay. We have the best marriages by far. Okay. Does that mean they all work? Of course not. I mean, we need to work on marriage in our country all together. But who's leading the way? Black women and white men. Okay. 3% to 21% is amazing. Okay. And those people that are against interracial relationship, the swirling gone round uh gaggle over there, they'll tell you the percentage of white men married to black women. You know why? There's millions more white men than black women. So,
exactly, exactly.
yeah.
If you're talking about non-Hispanic white, that's 30, what is that? 30 to
Yeah,
40% of the
yeah,
population, right?
yeah, I think
So,
it's like 35%. This is white men in America, about 35% non-Hispanic. Okay, that's just white guys like me, pure European white dudes, right? Um, that's about 35%. And then of course, white women, there's more white women than white men. White women are the biggest group. Okay. Um,
yeah,
but
and black women make up 7%.
yes,
Within
seven,
that 7%, yeah. So
yeah,
there's enough to choose from just with white
yes,
men.
yes, there is. There's enough white men to go around for every black woman. And and the percentage of white men don't have to like you like that. I mean, it could be like 5% of white men liking black women, and every black woman can have a white
And
man.
that's enough. That's 5%
Yeah,
of white men is enough
yeah,
because we're 7%. So 5% of white men is actually a bigger number because they make up more
hmm,
of the population.
yes,
Then so even 5% of white men is still that's more than enough for black women.
it is. It is. And look, more than 5% of white men love black women. Let's be honest. I would say probably the 80 to 90% range. Okay, and it's increasing. Look, if from 1980 it increased 4 times, yeah, and that makes sense because we're getting out of that uh that segregated mindset. We're getting out of that race loyal tribal thing. You know, the younger crowd saying, I don't care. There's white men that say, I love black women. I don't care what anybody says. And black women are saying the same thing. We're getting out of that conditioning. And, you know, but I would say black women, be careful, okay? Because I've seen black women conditioned to where they worship black men, but I've seen black women flip it and start worshiping white men the way they were worshiping black men. Okay, and I think the reason is because black women are so loving, so loyal. Black women are love loyal. Who they love, they give it all. Okay, so ladies, be careful. You don't worship a man. A man is flawed. Okay, if he does right and you love each other, you love him. You know, you be there for him, sure, but no worship. Okay. But yeah, but that's what I'm seeing. That's what's happening. And look, I know so many people that are in interracial relationships, black women, white men, that are successful. You know, Indiana mom got married the same year me and Sandy did. Okay, she's been married 29 years also. That's not uncommon. Black women, white men, we mesh together pretty well. Okay, once we get out of that racial barrier and we just put each other first, there's nothing stopping us. We are the power couple.
I want to say, I love it when you say that, Britt. Put each other first.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about at Pro White Male Leadership.
Yeah. Put each other first. Right. And there's nothing wrong with a preference. Pro-white male leadership. She prefers pro-white male leadership. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I prefer black women. Okay.
Yeah, let me give
that's who I love.
Brent, can I do a shout out to Deandis? What's his name in Florida? Deandis? How do you pronounce his last name? The guy in Florida that's running for president. They said he's worse than Trump.
Oh, Ron DeSantis.
Yes.
Ron DeSantis. Yeah.
Yes.
When you said that guy in Florida, I was thinking about
let's give a shout out to him. He's doing a wonderful, wonderful job.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you were going to say Dusty Dickens, so I was just like, I better stop. Yeah, but his name's Ron DeSantis. I don't think he's going to beat Trump, though. I think Trump's going to be the president again.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
And the you know what's going to hit the fan when that happens. It's, yeah. But yeah, DeSantis, I like DeSantis. But anyway, that's our political. But yeah, but seriously, put each other first. That's what we need to do. Somebody said Rhonda Satan. I was like, what?
Rhonda Satan.
Okay. All right.
I can't.
Okay. All right. Oh man. Well, politics aside, you know what? The best thing we can do is come together, black women, white men, I think. You know what? Link, please, wrote. Okay. Yeah, I'll put the link down. But hey, Pro, I think a show what we're talking about, a vetting show, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be educational, and black women helping black women is the best, because I can't tell you what you go through. I mean, all I can tell you is what you tell me, and I can repeat it back. That's about all I could do. You know, but yeah, there's the link, so you can come up.
But I'm not staying long, Brent, because it's almost midnight over here.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, I got like 30 leads. So
Oh, nice. 30. Wow. So you're killing it out there, man. Hey there, Indiana mom. What's going on?
hey, Indiana mom.
Hello, how are you?
How's it going?
Good.
It's going great. I just really, I want to reiterate what Brent said about how uh, he said it many times about how much he appreciates and loves Black women, and it stems from uh, his babysitter that showed him love, and gave him support. And I can understand that because I had a I had a babysitter that was like a grandmotherly type when I was a child. Um, we called her Grandma Goody, and that wasn't even her name. I found out many years later that that wasn't her name. We called her Grandma Goody because when we would show up, she would say, "Let Grandma give you some goodies," and she would have, a cookie or a lollipop or a popsicle or whatever. And we started calling her Grandma Goody. And I still vividly remember her. She's an amazing woman. But I feel the same way kind of about white men. Um, one of my favorite teachers in elementary school, Mr. Miller, saw something in me, and he noticed that, like the other teachers, when we would switch classes because we had different levels of reading ability, so like reading class, we were all mixed up, fifth and sixth graders, and depending on our ability. And he noticed that I was in all of the higher level classes when we would switch around. And I wasn't getting the credit that he thought I deserved. And Mr. Miller went out of his way to take me aside like once or twice a week and tell me, I really like the book report you did on American government, or you aced this math test. Great job. He really went out of his way. And so there are men that were white men that went out of their way to encourage me and push me. When I was in high school, I was on a speed team, which is basically roller skating. It wasn't like roller derby where we had to go up hills and jump over stuff. It was just racing. But our coach was a white guy. I was probably 14 and he was maybe 30. And he's like, you're not giving it your all. He's like, I see you hesitate around the corners because it's almost like you're afraid of slipping. And he said, I want to see you go around the corners the same way that you attack the straightaways, because that's the only way you're going to win races. And he's like, I see the potential in you, and I know you can do this.
Yeah.
So stop blocking yourself and hit those corners the way you hit the straightaways. And I mean, it happened throughout my life. My band director, that when I tried out for a drum major at the end of freshman year, because normally drum majors in high school bands are upperclassmen, juniors and seniors. And I tried out for my sophomore year. And I was the only sophomore that tried out. And at one point, one of the other girls was like, I don't, you were just you're coming out of your freshman year. I don't know why you're trying out for drum major. And I think my band director overheard it because he took me aside and he said, okay, number one, as a freshman, you were the section leader for the flutes. So out of 20 flutes, I was in charge as a freshman, as a ninth grader. I was first chair. And he said, if you can be a section leader as a freshman, then you can be a drum major as a sophomore. And he said, don't listen to her. I want to see you at tryouts. I want to see you do the best you can. Learn, pay attention, listen to the outgoing senior drum majors, ask them questions, get their advice, and do the best you can. And I ended up being a freshman or a sophomore drum major with 2 senior drum majors. So when I hit my junior year, I didn't have to try out for drum major as a junior. I was automatically field commander.
Oh, okay. So basically what he did is brought out the best in you.
Yes.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to go for it all. Yeah.
And what the statement that he made that really hit me was he said, you know what, you came in and as an incoming freshman coming out of 8th grade, you did all of the exercises, you did all of the music memorization, and you in order to decide the chair sequences, who gets first chair, second chair, third chair, so on, we all had to play separately the same piece of music. And the band directors would decide who, what lineup we would be in. And as a freshman, I beat out juniors, seniors, sophomores, and all the other freshmen. Out of 20 in the flute section, there were 4 seniors, 5 juniors, 2 sophomores, and the rest were freshmen. And I beat all of them out for first chair. But that's because where we live, we started band in 5th grade. But I went to a private school. And I started music in 2nd grade at a private school. So by the time I went public school, I got to public school in 5th grade. And I already had 3 years on everybody that was my age.
Oh, okay.
So when I got to freshman year, I was playing at a senior level, but I was still a freshman because I had 3 years on everybody else. That's how I got first chair. And he said, if you can get first chair as a freshman, then you can get drum major as a sophomore. He said, don't listen to anybody else. Come to these rehearsals, come to the tryouts, and do your thing.
Yeah.
And I got the spot.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, I don't know what you talking about first chair. I've never been in band, but
first chair is just like the leader of the whole section. So I was the leader of all the flutes.
Oh, okay.
All the flutes. So if we were doing something and there was like a solo part, I got the solo because I was number 1 out of all the flutes.
Oh, okay. So you did band and cheerleading.
band, cheerleading, softball, and I was in student council
Oh, okay.
through high
Wow.
school.
So you were busy, busy, busy.
Very
Wow.
busy. But I was also coaching my little cousin's cheerleading team, which was the elementary team. I coached them, and I was working at the roller rink as a floor guard, a DJ, and a teacher. And I also worked at a private gym teaching gymnastics to preschoolers.
Yeah. Hey, how do you think with that we could put together, Indiana Mom, like a vetting class, where, because I we talked about this, and I really would
Absolutely.
love to do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I want women to participate, because ladies, you're the ones that are in danger. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, we're all in potential danger when we date. There's psychopaths all over, right? But Black women are in the
In your
most
case,
danger.
well, not in your case, Brent, because you're married. But if you were
Yeah.
single, it would be black male worshipers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
That's right.
I know what you're talking about. I dated a couple of those, and
Yeah,
that's
you
not
said
good.
one used to beat the hell out of you.
Yeah, oh God, she literally did. I mean, and I never laid hands on her because
I don't mean to laugh. No, I said
I was told
definitely
not
black
to.
male identified.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
No, she was like that. I mean, but it was a valuable lesson. I vetted very good after that.
I mean,
got the
like when Tree's being silly, and we're like in the kitchen, and he's being a little bit silly, or being a smart ass. I might walk up and pop him on the behind, but
that's different.
Actually beating on him.
This woman would hit me with fists. She was
no.
And you know what? I would get angry, but I never laid hands on her. I broke some stuff. I punched through some sheetrock. I punched through a window. I jacked myself up, but I never touched her. And thank God I didn't.
Oh my God, I don't understand. Wow, that just does not compute with me at all.
Yeah, well, she had some impulse issues. And our relationship was toxic anyway. And
doesn't that sound familiar?
Oh my God.
What, impulse issues?
Oh my God.
I mean, I could laugh about it, but you know what? This crazy woman, you know what she did? After I left, right? I had lost 20 pounds because I was working 3 jobs trying to make ends meet, dealing with the stress of her. And I came home, right? And I stayed with my dad for a little bit. And I was like, and we lived in a pretty rough neighborhood. And there was this back alley. And she would park her car there, and she would stop me. She came to my window late at night, and she was nuts. I mean, she truly loved me, but she hurt me too. It was I think she would have been the one that would, if I stayed with her, I think they would have been doing a new story on me, finding my body parts. I'm serious. No, I'm not joking. I mean,
oh my God.
that was.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
Hey,
that sounds scary.
I mean, and she'd be packing too, and I was like, oh my God, no. But thank God nothing happened.
That sounds so scary.
But what was freaky is after I broke up with her, I met my wife Sandy after her, and years later, after my oldest daughter was born, she sent a letter to my dad's house, right? I guess trying to get in contact with me, and my dad and my dad thought it was we had been married 3 years already, but my dad thought it was like from my wife's niece or something. So and I was in Korea, and my dad gave my wife the mail, like, here. And my wife opened it up, and like next time I talk to her, she says, yeah, what is this woman doing trying to contact you? Because and she knew who she was, because oh my God, when right before I got married, right, I ran into her, and my wife was with me, and it was New Year's night. I had like a silk shirt on, and I had like a gold chain, and she grabbed my shirt and ripped it. Like, and I hadn't seen her in like months. I broke up with her, right? And she told me, you're going home with me. She just ripped my shirt. And this was like in a club, and it was New Year's night, right? 1993 to 94. And then my wife's like freaking out. She's mad, and this woman's a lunatic. And it was like, and I was so embarrassed. And my wife walked out, and I left, and my wife's like in the car. This was before she was my wife, right? And I walked up to her car, right? And she said, are you going to go with her? I said, no, heck no. And then she's like, are you okay? And, that was one moment that we had that my wife was like, well, you chose me. And of course I did. This was a relationship long broken up, but that woman was nuts. And, yeah.
I remember when I came home from college after my freshman year for the summer, and by then,
I'm sorry, Indiana Mom.
Well, go ahead.
I just, go ahead. I got a story to tell you guys. And look, this happened a couple months ago. This is a beautiful thing. And this lets you know that you do influence people. But I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I'll tell it after you're done.
Okay. We came home. I came home, but I'm really close to my older sister, and I was in my freshman year at IU, and my sister was her junior year at Georgia. And when it was time to go home for the summer, my sister was like, what's Tree gonna do for the summer? And I was like, I don't know. And behind my back, my sister talked to my mom and was like, I don't know what she told you about Tree, but we talk almost every day, and all she talks about is him, and da 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 da. So she literally went behind my back, and my mom was like, okay, well, if this guy is so great, we're going to invite him to come to our house. So my mom suggested, why don't you bring him home for a couple weeks? And he ended up there the whole summer. But yeah, I invited him back for a couple weeks, and we hung out. He met the family. My family absolutely loved him. And while I was home, I went to the roller rink, and this was a Friday or a Saturday night. It was a weekend, and Tree wasn't with me. Tree had gone out on the river with my dad and my uncles and my brothers. There was a bunch of them, and they went out to the river to go fishing and just have guy time, you know. So I went out with one of my old skating friends from middle school, and we went to the roller rink. And there was this guy, and Stevie, and in high school, we were in high school together. I'm like a year older than him.
Yeah.
But we were in high school together, and he was like the epitome of pretty boy. He had long blonde hair down to his butt, blue eyes. He was charming, and he had a thing for black girls really badly. And I didn't know it in high school. In high school, I thought he was cute, but we really weren't part of the same crowd.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a lot of interaction with him. So I didn't think anything about it. But when I was home that summer, suddenly he was calling my house. He was
so
showing up, and at one point, right when I was about to consider going on a date with him, my sister was like, do you not see the dynamics?
Oh, okay. So,
and I was like, what do you mean? And my sister said, okay, look, yes, he likes black girls, but that's all you're seeing, right? But what I see, with my sister being 2 years older, she saw that all of his friends were black guys, and all he listened to was rap music, and he spoke like with the slang and everything. He didn't speak proper English, and
okay.
He really didn't.
He was a Tyrad.
Yes.
Okay? Yes. He was Brad trying to be a Tyrone. That's a that's a Tyrad.
Yes.
Okay.
And my sister said, my sister was like, number one, mom is not gonna like him.
Yeah.
And she said, number two, mom absolutely adores Tree.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're here with Tree. She's like, yeah, don't even consider it. And I took my older sister's advice, and I turned him down. And you know, to this day, probably about 4 months ago, I got a message from him.
Oh no.
On Messenger. How you doing, baby girl? Just a bunch of, and I was like, no. And he's like, are you still with your husband? Because, you know, he is of that black man mindset that that black women can't sustain relationships. So he assumed that we weren't together anymore. And
does he know the dynamic with black women, white men?
No, he doesn't, because he has a black male mindset.
Yeah.
So and when he messaged me and he's like, are you still with him? And I'm like, what do you mean? Yes, I'm still with no. Yeah, yes, I'm still with my husband. I'm still happy. Our kids are happy.
Yeah,
I don't know. And I was like, why are you even bothering to message? Why?
That's when you say, hey, get lost. Not interested.
Weird. No, that's when I show my husband the messages. And I let him handle it.
Better yet. Yeah, let him handle it. Yeah, that's a good choice. Yeah, you know what? Hey guys, this is awesome. Okay, and this happened a while back, right?
Okay.
People around where I work and where I live are starting to figure out who Roadrunner is. And I have people calling me that. It's so funny. And this woman at work, and she's a Hispanic woman, right? She says, "Hey, Roadrunner, you better represent." They don't even know we're a state. But she's real supportive, right? She's like, "I love your channel. It's great." But and but a while back I was I was at the store, and this black woman, right? She was like in her, I would say in her like 20s, early 20s. And she started calling my name. I'm like, so I turned around and said, she says, "Hey, how you doing?" And this and that. I said, "Oh, good. How are you doing?" I didn't know who she was, so that I just played off like, "Yeah, how's it going?" She says, "Well, how's your wife?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, she's doing good." And I'm like, "Who is this?" Right? And then this white dude come up, and he's standing with her, and I'm like, I couldn't figure out who this was, but I didn't want to be rude. And check this out. When me and my wife got married, right? And this was back in the day, in the 90s, right? We got married in 94. And, I would bring my wife to the church that I went to, and she was a little girl at the church. And, I knew her family and stuff because they knew my family, but I didn't recognize her because she's a little kid back then.
Right.
And now she's married, been married for like 3 years to a white man, and she entered, and I said, "I'm sorry, I don't know who you are." "Yeah, you know me." And she told me her name. I
Right
was like,
on.
"Oh," I said, "Oh, okay. Well, yeah, good to see you." And I met her husband, and they've been married like 3 years. They had they have a baby. And
Yes.
we were talking, and she said, "You know what?" She said that she was in the white boys when she was growing up. And she said what encouraged her is seeing me and Sandy. She said, "Every time I saw you and your wife, you guys just looked so happy, and it looked awesome. And then you would bring your kids." And she said it was like almost like a permission to do what she wanted to date out.
Yes.
But she's seen us doing it. And she said, "You were the only one that was with a black woman." And because in our church there's black and white people, and there'd be black men with white women, Hispanic women. That was common. But
Yes.
a white man with a black woman was not. I was like one of the only. Now that's changed now, but I was like one of the first to do it, you might say, in that area. But she was like, and it made me feel so good. I was like, wow. So me and my wife had that influence on a little girl that's watched us. You know what? That impacted her path in her life.
Right.
The babysitter I talked about, that young black lady, she was a teenager, but I felt something, some love. I was influenced. And it's like a chain reaction, and we influence each other. I've had women tell me, "You know what? I've dated out for the first time because I listened to you and I tried it." And we influence people, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not. And you don't have to be on a YouTube to influence. Just living your life every day. We influence each other for what we see, what we find that's attractive, what we find that is awesome. That babysitter changed my whole life forever by showing me love, by treating me, and as a little kid, I gravitated to that. When I was growing up, I was little, okay? I was smaller than most kids. And she gave me candy and called me big guy, and oh my God, I fell in love with her. And it was like, and you know what? I had a positive look on black women the whole time. And then back in the 70s with Donna Summer, that was my, first celebrity crush. And I fantasized about having a girlfriend that looked like Donna Summer. I'm serious. And then Thelma from Good Times. Oh my God. And guys, look, us white people watch those black shows too. Good Times, The Jeffersons. Yeah. And you know what? I would see that, and oh my God, Hey, you know what's so funny? I want to throw this in here and tell me this. You know, when you're in junior high, right? You know, if your kids, and if you brought a Playboy magazine to school, right, it would be like you're in trouble. They have to call your parents. No, you know what I'm saying. But get this, you could go in the library and open up a National Geographic and see like black women like in Africa or women like in South America topless and stuff, and that's okay. That's educational, but it's the same thing, right? And it's funny because I had a school conference where the teacher was like, yeah, he's really he's really getting into it. He's studying, he's reading a lot. And I was looking at National Geographic, and I'm like 13 years old, and my father's like, really? He's really doing this, because my dad knew me better than that. and he found out what I was doing because I'd bring that home, and he's like, what is this? Is this what you're studying? Come here, son. Let's have a talk. And I says, okay. And he opened it. He says, what's this tribe about? What do they do? What's their culture? And I couldn't tell him nothing. He says, yeah, all you're doing is looking at these pictures, and no, you're not studying. So I got in trouble that way. But think about it. You can look at that stuff at a library, but a Playboy magazine, and back in the day, Playboy magazine, they just showed pretty much topless women, right? You're seeing the same thing. Okay. And my dad wasn't having it. He knew me better than that. But that's just one of those funny stories. And, but.
Well, I was one of those teenage babysitters. The people that lived across the street from us had 2 sons. Brandon was the older of the 2, and he was perfectly healthy. And Nathan had I don't know if it was like a birth defect or what, but he was in a wheelchair. He didn't speak. He really didn't have a lot of control over his muscle movements. They asked me to start babysitting, and I had to be trained to take care of Nathan because he was completely dependent on someone else. He couldn't even eat. He had a port in his belly.
Oh, okay.
For nourishment. So I had to be trained in that. I had to be trained in keeping track of his temperature. He was nonverbal.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had to really dig it. And even though Brandon was 2 years older than Nathan, Nathan was like 30 pounds heavier than Brandon. So I also had to be trained how to use like the lift to get him from like his bed to his chair and so on, without hurting him. And for literally all of high school, I was their babysitter because I was right across the street. Wow. And even my mother and grandmother took the classes so that they could help out,
Yeah.
I saw their mom probably about 4 months ago, just randomly at Walmart. And she recognized me first. And she just walked right up, and she looked me dead in the face, and she was like, oh my God, I know you. You were our son's babysitter. And she called me by my name. And I was, oh my God. And this was in like the 80s. And I was like, how are the boys? What's going on? They're both still going good. The boys live with mom and dad, or the Nathan in the wheelchair. He's still with mom and dad, but
Yeah.
Brandon, the older son, is married. He has 2 babies, and so on and so forth. And I was like, oh my God. And we're hanging out in the parking lot and we're just having a gab fest. And she starts showing me pictures of Brandon and his wife and the grandbabies and so on and so forth. And Brandon married a black woman.
There you go. Hey, look, we're influencing people.
And he has pretty biracial children.
Yes.
That are happy. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, and Brandon's wife is dark skin.
Mm-hmm.
And his and the mom, she was like, oh, she's the most amazing woman. She's so beautiful. She loves him so much. She's such a great wife. She's such a good mother. She's a great cook. She's like, we swap recipes and we talk all the time and we like the same TV shows. And she just could not get over how much she loved her daughter-in-law.
Yeah. Hey,
and she said, you know what? We never even considered this until Brandon was about 10, because when I was a babysitter, he was like 6.
Yeah.
And she said Brandon was about 10, and she told me just out of the blue, he's like, I want a girlfriend like babysitter.
Yep. It's that influence. And hey, ladies, listen, if you want to change our country, babysit little white boys and show them love and nurturing. And you know what?
Yes.
A lot of them will end up marrying black women because you have that positive impact. I'm telling you. And look, think about it.
I'm sorry, Brent.
No,
Brent, when you say black women, do you want to change the country? Do you know what? Really? Are you serious? Because I do.
Yeah.
They love us at all ages, especially little boys. If all we have to do, all we offer is hugs and encouragement.
Yeah.
And love and cookies and snacks. But we're there to say, why are you having a bad day? Talk to me. Tell me about your bad day.
And think about this, because look, as children, we learn things about what we see, right? And they say that boys will usually marry a woman like their mother, right?
Yes.
And daughters like their father, right?
Yes.
But sometimes you get that motherly love from a black woman as a white boy, and you'll embrace that love, and it, as you grow up, you remember that, and then you see other black women.
If you think about it, it seems like white women and black men don't really care about their children. They only care about themselves.
Yeah. Well,
while white men and black women are all about embracing and encouraging and loving and being there for their families.
Well, not if they're black male identified.
Yeah. Well,
no. But I mean,
And I gotta throw that in there.
but
Guys, I'm not gonna stay that long because I gotta get up in a
Okay.
couple of hours, but I'm gonna stay
I
on for like
know.
10 minutes, 10, 15 more minutes, but I had to throw that in there.
Okay.
but you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Black women
They,
are more geared toward loving and encouraging and pushing their children. And it's the same with white men. And it seems that black men and white women are quick to abandon their children if it doesn't benefit them.
here's something that, look, here's a stat, and I know people get mad at me when I say this, but black women, white men have the best marriages, right? Longest lasting.
Mhm.
They're even finding out that
Mhm.
white
And they
men,
have the happiest children.
yeah, they're even finding out that white men do better financially with a black woman than a white woman, or
Absolutely.
any race of woman. Okay, and it's not that black women are bringing wealth. No, it's just that black women bring the best out of us. That's what's happening.
It's a
And you're
black
already
woman.
better. That's the thing. That you see, but you see, that's the whole entire thing. You guys want to be better. You want to be leaders. You want to dominate. You want those things. So if you already want those things, right? All you need is a woman that wants to be on your arm. Like I said, you guys can conquer the world tomorrow. I just want to be the beautiful black woman on your arm. That's all I care about. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey.
but black women, we are we're not geared toward when the check hits the bank. We're not about, oh, I need a new car. Oh, I need new jewelry. Da-da-da. No, we are like, okay, the check has hit the account. It's time to go to the grocery store. It's time to buy food. It's time to buy stuff that the animals need. It's time to, you know what I mean? We don't think about, we don't care about frivolous stuff. We are family oriented. So when the check hits the account, we are all about taking care of the family.
You know what? And I think that's another element that black women, white men do so well is a lot of, most of the time we're financially sound. We both are. We know how to manage money.
Absolutely.
And that's a big thing in relationships, because if you can't manage money, you're going to be in a world of hurt, because
Absolutely.
And we're pretty good at that generally, black women, white men.
Yeah.
And that's I would say that's one of the reasons we have more wealth too, is because black women are responsible like that, and white men are too. Not saying all. There's interracial couples that are stupid with money too, but usually we're pretty good.
Okay, well, I mean,
hey,
honestly speaking,
let me say this real quick.
Okay.
I had this highlighted, Caroline's dreams. She's saying, please interview more interracial couples again. Yeah, I need to do that. Hey, and let me say this. If you're watching, okay, and I'm trying to reach out to interracial couples, but if you're watching, okay, and you're a black woman married to a white man, or a black woman married to an Asian man, or Hispanic, email me. I would love to talk to you. Me and Sandy would love to have a back and forth with you and share our experiences in the interracial, our interracial lives, how we deal with marriage, how we met, and how we, go through life. And we can even talk about our biracial kids and stuff. And, that would be awesome. I really want to do that. I know people have been asking me to do that. I'm going to try to reach out to like smaller channels. The big ones and stuff, I kind of hesitate because I don't want them to think that I'm trying to build off them, you know. If they got like 100,000, what are they going to talk to me for? You know, I mean, they might, but I like the smaller channels anyway, because it's more pure. I think it's like they just love talking and having a back and forth. That, you know, I would love to do that. But if you're watching and you want to have that show, give me an email. I would love to do that. Everybody would love to see that too. You know,
Let me say,
huh?
My husband has a brother who is 4 years older than he is.
Uh-huh.
My brother-in-law is married to a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
They have one child. One. We have 3. My brother-in-law has the original property and house where they were born, you know, their parents' house. He inherited it from his parents. My husband did not inherit anything from his parents, and they're still alive, but the brother-in-law still lives at the house that they grew up in. My husband bought property, built a house, built a business, raised a family, and he has 3 kids to his brother's 1 kid. His brother is married to a white woman, and he is still working. He's working in a factory, getting a weekly paycheck, so on and so forth. My husband had his own business out of college and had employees. He was the big boss. And now he is retired, early retirement. And our son has taken over the family business. And we don't just have one property. We signed over the house property where the kids grew up to my son, and the business property to my son. But we also recently purchased a property in New Hampshire close to the grandparents for our older daughter, so she could be close to her grandparents, and another property in Colorado close to a cousin of mine where my younger daughter wanted to be closer to that area. And we're looking at 5 different properties in North Carolina for us to retire to. Meanwhile, his brother, married to a white woman, has the one property that he inherited, and he's still working in a factory, still making a weekly paycheck. While we are retired, we have a family business that is making income for our children. We have multiple properties that we purchase for our children that they don't have to pay any kind of mortgage or rent or anything. We own it outright.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people make better decisions than others.
But I mean, that's the difference.
Yeah. There's a lot of difference. And I get hate for that. You know, I really don't talk about white women that much. I really don't. I hardly ever. But when I do,
I know you don't. And that's a problem.
Hey,
but that's a problem.
That's a problem.
No. brother, that's a problem because we as Black women, we are the only women on the whole planet that get hate from what's supposed to be our own men. And even when we date out and we get love from other men, white men, Asian men, Hispanic men, Indian men, whatever, they still won't talk down about their own women.
Yeah.
They still don't. And we get nothing but hate from Black women.
You know what? And you know that's true. And you know what? I don't put down white women. I have nothing against them at all. I just, when it comes to dating and marriage, it was Black women all the way. That's just
okay,
the
but
way.
that's a shame.
But
that's a shame because we don't even have to do anything. We don't have to do. All we're doing is existing, and Black men still put hate on us on social media, in public, everywhere. Everywhere.
Well, you saw what happened. You saw what happened on that. Listen.
What happened?
Listen. Okay, listen. Okay, listen. I was watching that. I don't want to discuss it on your channel, Brent. So I won't. I'm gonna leave soon. So
was it a fight or something, or a brawl?
Hello, yeah. You know what brawl I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God, here. I don't know what to say. Like, what people are? What's wrong with these people? Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But I love it. I love it.
Yeah. But yeah.
Real quick, I have to go steal a half alive mouse from the cat. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I didn't really look into that story, but yeah, people have been talking about it on social media and stuff. But anyway, I was just saying about white women. I don't really talk about them because I don't really care. I have nothing against them, but when I do talk about them and I tell some facts, like, you guys remember when I talked about the Becky return policy?
Right.
That is truth. I'm not throwing shade at white women. What I'm saying is that a lot of times when white women come back to the white community after being with Black men, they get the cold shoulder from white men. Okay. And I always wondered why. And because I wasn't interested in white women, I didn't care. But I would have some compassion because she'd find some white guy she loves, but she got biracial kids. And I think, well, things happen. You love him now. You love each other. What's the problem? But after looking into this and having white men tell me about this, they're like, okay, well, when they leave, they don't just go because they're attracted to the dude. They go with their finger towards us, like we're garbage, and they found something better. And then they come back and we're supposed to just act like they're a prize. They're like, no. And that's what I was trying to explain. And that is true. Whether you're in the trailer park or in Hollywood, I'm just saying, with white people, it's that way. White men feel some kind of way. And look, white men will marry a Black woman that has Black kids all day, and it's cool. But a white woman that goes back and forth, it's kind of, and I was just explaining that it's that way. And if you look at Kim Kardashian, right? She got with Keanu West, right? You know,
Kanye West. Yeah.
Kanye West. Sorry, she got with Kanye West, right? He's a billionaire. Okay, and
That
she
means nothing.
yeah, well, she used him as a come up. Okay, but she tried to come back to the white community. Guess what? You're not going to get with Elon Musk. You're not going to get with the Tom Brady. You're not going to have these top shelf Brads because they're just not going to do that. But she will get a white guy that uses her as a come up. She's going to get that. And it's like the value went down. It's like once you go over, you can come back. I'm not saying you can't, but your value goes down.
It does.
But with white men, we could bounce back and forth, and I could, if something happened with me and my wife, I could get with a Becky tomorrow, and she'd try to be the best mother for my biracial children, and just accept it. It's just but men aren't like that. Does that make sense? I wouldn't get with but I'm just saying, and I tried to explain that, but I got so much hate. Oh, you're a self-hater. You hate white women. And a lot of black guys went in on me that I guess they're with white women. And they're like, how can you hate? And I didn't hate. I'm just explaining. And tell me I'm wrong. I can have a debate and you can tell me, hey, you're wrong in that area. Okay, explain. I'm not right about everything. Of course not. But this is what I observe. And see, I know I'm right because I see it.
Well, I've learned that me being a black woman that has only dated white men, it almost seems to put me in a higher level for black men. It's almost like they want me because they know.
Yes, they do.
I've been with white men. And so that makes me more important to them.
You know what that is? It's because they look at you like a trophy, because
yes.
They could say, oh, look, I have the woman the white man had.
She's a black woman. She's a black woman, and she's been with white men, but I took her away from the white man.
Yeah.
And you know what? I honestly, I think black men would rather have black women that have dated white men
I think you're
white
right.
women that have dated white men, because it's almost like, oh, you thought you stole our woman from us, but we got her back.
Yeah, we got her back. Yeah, look. I'm telling you that is so true. It's like your value goes up, but their value goes down. It's
way
weird.
up, but the black women that are that truly are happy with white men, we don't want black men.
Yeah.
They're not even on our spectrum at all.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's how we are.
In fact, they creep us out. They make us uncomfortable. I don't like them. They make me uncomfortable. They make me nervous. I don't like being around black men.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
No, like today.
Yeah,
we went to a local farmers market.
I'm going to tell you something crazy, and it blew my mind.
Okay, we went to a local farmers market to go grocery shopping, and we've lived in this area, oh God, for almost 30 years, more than 30 years. And it was very rare. I would have to travel like an hour and a half away to even see other black people. So, and it's the same vendors, it's the same sellers, and we've gotten to know these people over many decades.
Yeah.
And over the last, I'd say, 3 months, every time we're out shopping, I see a black man. And this is like brand new, like the last 3 months.
Brand new.
It is.
I'm going to give you a story on that.
No, dude, you don't understand. It's to the point where we walk into a store and I see a black man, and immediately Tree's like, "Are you okay?
Are you okay?"
And I'm like, "I don't know." Because he knows they make me nervous. He knows that I'm not comfortable around them. And today there was a black couple at the farmers market, and we've never seen them before. Never. And it's the same market that we've been shopping at for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And I've never seen this couple. I don't know where they came from. And it was a black man and a black woman. And she was cool, but at one point we were at one end of the market where like the vegetable and fruit produce was, and she was nowhere in sight, but he was right there, and he wasn't picking up produce and checking it or looking at prices. He was just like randomly just looking around. He was just standing there with a piece of paper in his hand. And I was like, dude, he's been following us all over this fucking market for like a half an hour. I'm like, I was creeped out. And I was like, I knew he was like following us because it was a black woman with a white man. I knew this in my soul.
You know what's funny is,
and I was like, by the time we got near the front counters, because we usually at the front counters, we usually like go to the coolers and we get a pop each for a cold drink for the drive home. And we were picking cold drinks, and all I could think was, oh, let's get to the checkout. We got to get the hell out of here. I got to get the hell out of here. We got to get the hell out of here, because this dude is like creeping me out. He's been following us for a half an hour, and I don't like it. And Tree was like, "You good, babe? You good, babe?" And I'm like, I think so. But by the time we got into checkout, they pulled into checkout right behind us. And I was like, I can't. And as Tree was loading stuff onto the conveyor belt, I'm like, give me the keys. Give me the keys. And he's like, okay, here, babe. He gives me the keys, and I make a beeline for the door. I was like, I can't do this.
You know what's funny, Indiana Mom?
Because he deserted her. She was way on the other side of the market. She was nowhere to be found, but he was hanging around 10 feet away from us for 20 minutes looking at nothing. just like, and I was like, and Tree was like, he's just looking at fruit. And I'm like, black men don't eat fruit.
They don't eat fruit.
And why is he away from his woman?
It's true. They don't eat fruit. They don't eat fruit.
But
it's true.
His
fruit
woman
and vegetables.
Okay, but his woman is nowhere near him. The reason he is in this section right now is because he's watching us. And I was like, I got to get the hell out of here.
You know what's weird is I've had my wife tell me this.
And this is why we're moving to North Carolina.
Well, there's a lot of black people in North Carolina too.
Yeah, well, not in the area that we're looking at. I promise you, because we've done the research. I've done the research. I made sure of it.
You know what's funny about what you said is my wife and daughter told me this too. We're in Hawaii, right? And we have the whole family there. Me, my wife, and my daughter and her husband and the grandkids. And you look at my family, right? From the kids to the grandkids, you could tell we're an interracial family because you got me and my wife, and our kids look like us, but they're like all different skin tones. It's like black women have to have that Eve gene because we got like almost every skin tone from white to black and in between. But it's kind of unique, right? But my wife and daughter say that they get dirty looks from black men, and I'm like, I don't notice it. Maybe because I don't really pay attention.
Tree doesn't notice it either, dude.
Yeah, it's like,
Tree
what
doesn't
are we
notice it
talking
either.
about?
We see it.
Yeah,
it's the looks that are like, why don't you want a brother?
Yeah, like what? Why
And
did
it's
you,
like, dude, go away.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. That's what you're saying is you've never been with black men, right?
Never.
Indiana mom, I've never been with a white woman. Serious. And I've shared this with you guys. I've never been intimate with a white woman. Serious. I've just.
But the only time I get dirty looks from white women is when they're with black men. White women that are with white men, it's a regular day.
Yeah.
The only time white women give me shitty looks is when they're with a black man.
Yeah.
Black men give us dirty looks. All of them.
Once you go black, they can't go back. My first girlfriend was a black girl, and I never went back. That is true. And look, somebody made me feel guilty, right? But
it's not true the other way around.
Yeah. Somebody made me feel guilty.
Ask Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. Somebody made me feel guilty when I was younger, right? And I was like 19 or 20, and somebody said, "You're biased, you know." I mean, why are you so into black women? There's good white women too, all women are good. And I kind of thought about it, and I thought, well, I tried to date 2 white women, and I felt awkward. I felt like, oh my God, this is weird. I wasn't attracted to her. I mean, they weren't ugly. It didn't feel right. And is that weird? Because usually people say that about someone outside their race. But it's like black women, it's like it's meant to be. It's like, this is what I'm supposed to do. But white women, it's like it's odd, bizarre, and I don't even like being around them that way. I don't have, that kind of desire for. Does that make sense,
dude? I don't even like being in a 7-Eleven with a black man. I'm nervous. I'm waiting for them to try to rob the place and pull out a gun. And no, I don't like being around black men at all.
Yeah, I don't feel that way around white women. I'm just not interested. And that's not to be mean, because look, we all have.
That's the difference.
Preference. Yeah.
That's the difference. White men, y'all are not mean to white women.
No, we're really not.
You're like, you know what? That's not my choice, but it is what it is. Black men are like, black women are to blame for everything. Black women are horrible. Black women are masculine. They hate on us, and they're telling the whole internet, the whole world, that we're terrible, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, they're traveling the world, and every single woman on the planet is getting the same black man.
Oh, the passport bros. Hey,
yeah.
Let me say,
they're getting the same assholes, and every single woman is reacting the same way the black women react. And black women, we need to just sit back and go, "I told you so. I told you so." Yeah. Whatever. We're not marching for them anymore. We're not standing up for them anymore. We're not caping for them anymore. We're done.
Yeah.
Let them fight their own fights. Or they can get Becky or Maria or Ling Ling to march for them. But Keisha's done. Keisha's over it.
Let me tell you, Becky and Mei Ling ain't marching for nobody.
Okay, well, I promise you. I promise you. A lot of Keishas are like, no, we're over it.
Yeah.
Where's Brad?
Yeah.
Where's Brad? Where's Chan? Where's Jose?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and look, here in a few generations, we're all going to be biracial. I think
absolutely
it's going to happen. And somebody made a comment like, oh, well, let me find that comment. I wanted to address it, but I kind of lost my place. But somebody said that, gosh, what was it? Oh, here it is. But white women create white men that black women love. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then black men create black women that white men love. I get it.
Thank you, Becky.
Yeah, I get that. But things are going to change because I think in the future we're just going to be all biracial. And
but honestly, it's not white women that create the white men that black women love. No, that's wrong. It's white men that create white men that black women love.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want the full white man, he's got to procreate with the white woman, though. But
the leaders, the leaders teach the leaders.
Yeah, but really, in the future, nobody's going to care about that. Yeah, and look, I mean, there'll still be black and white people, but I think our nation is headed for a biracial nation. We're going to come together.
Yes.
And look, the numbers are increasing.
Yes.
You can't keep Tyrone away from Becky. You just can't. Okay.
Okay. And we're not trying. We don't care.
Yeah. And Brad's looking at Keisha like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Right
so,
on.
You know, and it's going that way.
But I've heard black men say that, oh, if you desert the black race, black women, black people will no longer exist. And we're kind of like, well,
good.
We don't really care. We don't care. It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with being happy, raising productive and happy and healthy children, regardless of their race, regardless of their makeup. Yeah. So no, I don't want to just mate with a black dude just so I can have black babies. Why?
Yeah.
Why? That's stupid.
Yeah. And that type of mindset makes men weak because they don't have to compete for you. Oh,
well, black men have been weak always. So there you go.
Guys, I'm going to step down.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but it is like almost it's after 1 over here. But I'm going to step down.
Yeah, I need to wrap it up. It's already 11. I might be in big trouble if I stay up too late. Yeah, but
we'll talk soon, Pro. Love you.
Thank you so much. Don't worry, I'll be on live soon.
Right on.
Thanks for coming up. It's good talking to you, and I'm glad you feel better. You sound good.
Oh yeah. All right, guys. I'll still be watching though. Enjoy your night, everyone.
All right, you too. Thanks. Yeah, I look, I'm enjoying this discussion. I'm going to have to close down here soon. It's 11 where I'm at.
It is. Let me see. It's 1 o'clock here.
Yeah, you're on Eastern time. I'm in Mountain. Yes. California, it's only 10:09.
Right?
Yeah. That's what Corey used to say. Well, it's only this time, and it'd be like late
Right?
at night for everybody else. But yeah. But hey, I enjoyed the discussion. This news show turned into a discussion afterwards. And I love it. I love when we just talk about stuff and just, you know what? And Indiana Mom, I love your stories. You are so I mean, you are, I mean, detailed for detail. You must have a really good photographic memory. 'Cause
Oh,
you really,
yes. I
yeah,
remember everything.
yeah. But yeah, I love your stories. And look, hey, we are influencing people. Look, I found out I influenced a little black girl that interracially married later on.
Right.
Indiana Mom did. Look, my babysitter influenced me. That people were around. Look, there's a reason for everything. Things don't just randomly happen accidentally.
Right.
No, there's a purpose.
Right.
We're supposed to come together and interracially date and marry. We're supposed to
Exactly.
procreate interracially. We are. That's
And I remember my grandmother.
Mhm.
My grandmother was the catalyst
Uh-huh.
for me and my older sister and 3 of my cousins.
Mhm.
We all married out in the 90s. We're all still with our husbands. We all have kids. Most of them are adults. Some of us are grandparents now.
Mhm.
But our marriages are strong.
Yeah.
And the 5 of us, 5 black women in one family, married out, and we're still strong and happy.
Yeah. You know what? In my family, I have the most successful marriage, and I chose the black woman. When people
Absolutely.
thought I was crazy and just off, kind of weird. No, I wasn't weird. Everybody else was weird. I made the best choice.
Right.
And you know what? My life proves it, and that's the beautiful thing.
And
People
so
look,
did we.
yeah, people look at me and my wife. Well, you're still married to her. Well, yeah. What, you think
Yes.
I wouldn't be? Well, no, it's not that, but I didn't think it would last that long. Yeah, of course you didn't, because you had that segregated mindset that told you that it only works when you're with your own race, which is a total lie.
Right.
You know, we're better. White men are better off with black women. And let's face it, the stats tell it.
It
We are.
does. It
We're meant,
does.
and I tell people, I said, black women and white men are meant to be with each other. And people say, well, how can you say that? That's not right. No, it is right, because if you look at the data, we do better than everybody. Now, does that mean every black woman and white men need to be? No, of course not. Look, some people don't need to interracially date and marry. Okay,
Right.
but statistically, we do the best. Financially, we're doing the best, and our biracial kids are doing the best.
Absolutely.
And the reason is we're more strategic, and we put more into the relationship than everybody else. That's why it's the best.
But the pick-me-shows and the mammies,
Oh well.
look, they need to just hang on to the Tyrones. The problem is that the average black man doesn't want the pick-me's and the mammies.
Well,
they want the divested women.
Mm-hmm. You know why? Because
they're not interested.
That's because it's a challenge. I think men of all races want a challenge. The pick-me should, the mammy or whatever, they're for the black man all the way. I mean, so it's easy. So there's no challenge. But a divested woman, you have to move heaven and earth to get to her. And and if she's truly divested, you're not going to get there anyway.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
But that's a challenge. Now, if she's a fence rider, you might have a chance. But you got to work towards that. And I think that's why they're fixated, or they're factuated with divested women, women with white men, because it's a challenge and it's an ego boost. If they get a black woman that a white man was with, and not all, but a lot of them, it boosts their ego. Like, yeah, I got you, white man. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're not getting this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen it, like even black men like get with a white woman, and it's like they got you. They got what, and it's weird. It's like they got the woman, the white man's woman, because they're with a white woman. Some of them think that way, and it's like it's an ego boost. And in the past, white men would be pissed off, but today, we could care less. Hey, get all the white women
the
you
white
want.
men,
Yeah,
the white men are like, oh, the Beckys that go for black guys, we don't want them anyway.
yeah, and even the racist white dudes are like, whatever, because they know that there are so many white women, and so many white women that are race loyal. Like, if you want a white woman, you got it. And I'm not putting white women down. I'm just saying that's the biggest group of women.
Right.
So nobody cares. And guys like me, we don't care because we don't even want access to them. We just, hey, you do your thing, I do my thing, and that's how we look at it.
Right.
And honestly, a white woman that says she loves black men, I don't care. It don't do nothing. A black woman,
a white woman that wants black guys.
Yeah,
we already know she's a reject.
Well,
and nobody else wants her.
Yeah, but this is the thing. With me, that don't bother me. White women, she could be a supermodel white. I don't care. I don't care.
But it doesn't matter if it doesn't bother white guys.
Yeah. But
the point is, by the time she goes to black guys, it's because white men don't want her.
Well, a lot of times,
Period.
yeah. I mean, there is always an exception, but yeah, most of the time. But with white women,
but still, you're being nice to white women.
Yeah,
you're being nice to them.
And why not? Why do I gotta beat them down that I'm with a black woman? I don't care what they think anyway. That's just silly.
But still, the difference is, even though you love black women, you're not willing to throw white women under the bus, while black men throw us under the bus at every chance they get.
Yeah, it's I don't know why that. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's like, and with white men, it's crazy. It's like, and I've seen this. I've seen white men like celebrate black men with white women. Oh, that's great. You love each other, and hey, I'm all for you, brother. And that's awesome. And that's how white men are. They're like, they celebrate that. But black men, you get with a black woman, a lot of times they don't like it. They're pissed off at it. They look at the black woman like she's a sellout, a bed witch, all this other crap, and it's weird.
White men don't throw their women under the bus. Black men do.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems that way, and
it's not seems. It is.
Yeah. But yeah, it's. But yeah, I mean, a white woman can't break my heart. A white woman can't. The only one that can is my mother. That's it. Um, but black women can. When a black woman says she would rather be with a black man, that hurts my feelings more than a white woman going with Tyrone. I just don't care what the white woman does. But black women, I have that, love and respect for them. I have that kind of connection. So that will hurt my feelings in a way. You know what I mean? Does that make
If black
sense?
women would rather
No,
be.
no, I'm not going to dwell on it, but it's like it's more of a sting than white women say they want to be with black men. I don't care.
Okay, well, if black women would rather be with black men, I just think they're stupid.
Well, I mean, most black women will be with black men. It's just the way it is. The numbers are the numbers are changing. We're having a shift. Like I said, 1983%, today 21%. Numbers are climbing. That's quadrupled. Think about that. Let that sink in. So things are happening. And look, and I think the couples that do the best in marriage should get together the most. I mean, logically, it makes sense. But we all are going to go our own path. We all got our preferences, but more and more, and look, Brad is dating it and marrying out more than Becky is, or Karen. Okay. And look, and they see the writing on the wall, and I think the elderly or the older white women see it and they don't like it.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah. Like I say, I see those Karens like around me and my wife, like, they hate it. They say some things like, oh, well, how does your family think about it? What's his mom think? What's your parents think? How do you get along? How do you deal with society? That's what those Karens tell you. And it's like, shut up. I mean, we're not in 1947 anymore. I mean, times have changed. And, and when we're in Hawaii, we had this woman like, oh, you guys are cute, but how do you guys get through? Like, come on, I know what you're doing. Look, we got almost 30 years of marriage. We're not, but but a lot of them don't like to see that because, and when it comes, and look, I'm not trying to be mean, but with my experience, the most hate, the most resistance with me being with black women, it has come from white women. Okay, not white men. White men, and maybe it's because I'm a white man, so they don't feel a certain kind of way. But the most resistance, the most hate I've gotten from white women.
Okay, well, you need to ask Sandy because I bet she would say the most creepiness comes from black men.
Okay, I'll ask her. I think you're right. But it's that way. It's like, but oh well, I don't care what anybody thinks. You know what? I've made the right decision. I'm living my best life, and it's awesome. And it's worth every ounce of issues we ever had to go through. It's worth that. It's worth that and more. I would do it 1,000,000 times over the same way. Okay. And there's something special that we have. There's something, and it's meant to be. I make so many people mad when I say black women and white men are meant to be with each other. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
I get so much like, how can you say that? It's like, well, look at the numbers and tell me I'm wrong. Look at our marriages and tell me I'm wrong. Look at my life and tell me I'm wrong. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. It's like, And you know what? I love to see it growing even more. And I'm grateful I was an influence to somebody, and somebody was an influence to me. And we're passing the torch. Indiana Mom, we're passing the torch to these younger kids, to these, people in their 20s, starting out getting married. We're passing that torch.
Right on.
The Lovings passed the torch to us, and it's growing. It's getting bigger. It's having a snowball effect. Pretty much that little snowball that started with the Loving versus Virginia, it's going to turn into an avalanche.
Right on.
And before you know it, people will be looking around like, what just happened?
And black women live their best lives with white men.
Yes. And
Period.
what we're going to see is it's coming in the future. And I believe it's the near future. We're going to be at a time where more black women are married to white men than black men. It's not going to take much to do it, because the marriage rate in the black community is 27%. Do the math. It's not going to take long. It's really not. Unless black men turn it around and start marrying black women in droves, which I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen, because society's accepted, relationships out of wedlock. So I see this happening real soon. I really do. We're in the near future, they're going to look at stats and say, you know what? More black women are married to white men than black men. And people say I'm crazy. People say, yeah, you're full of crap. But you know what? Back in the day when I married my wife, if I would have said, you know what? The most successful marriage is going to be black women, white men, people would have laughed me out of the room and say, you lost your mind. What's wrong with you? That don't work. But now, guess what? Who has the strongest marriage? Who has the longest lasting? Look, people are going to laugh at me. It's coming. More black women will be married to white men than black men. Hey, and anybody that's listening, remember what I said. You could even record what I said and say, you know what? And when it happens, you say, damn, Roadrunner was right. How did he know that? But anyway, I better close this. I'm going to be talking all night, Indiana Mom. Look, when I get talking, I could talk all night.
Me too.
Yeah. But anyway, let me close this up. Indiana Mom, thanks for coming up. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And tell your family hi. God bless you, your husband, and children and grandkids, and you're awesome.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yeah, you're always welcome on my platform, and you know what? But it's good to have you on. And Pro, it was good to have you on tonight, young lady. And look, and look, we have something special. And we have a purpose. You know what? And let's embrace that. Feel good about what you got.
Right on. We are family.
We are. And we live on the corner of Swirl and Investment. The best neighborhood on YouTube. Hands down. We might not be the biggest, but I believe we got the best neighborhood. Hands down. But anyway, Indiana Mom, I'll talk to you soon. Everybody in the chat, thanks for being part of the show. Please hit that like button. And guys, hey, there's stuff going on YouTube. Some people aren't getting notifications. Some people are being unsubscribed and having to come back and subscribe. That's happening to me, but I'm not the only one. There's other YouTube channels, big channels, that it's happening to also. There's some kind of glitch going on. So just check. You might be unsubscribed. There's some channels I've been unsubscribed from that I got to go resubscribe. I don't know what's going on. But just check on that. The notifications, for some reason, that's always a problem. Somebody don't get notifications. I just think the system isn't perfected yet. I think there's some glitches. So, if you don't get notifications, you might not even be subscribed anymore. And you look at your phone like, wait, I didn't unsubscribe. What the heck? Look on that. My numbers have been crazy fluctuating. Like don't make sense. And I think there's just something in the system. Sometimes your numbers go down and up. I mean, that's just normal thing. Sometimes YouTube does do audits. They'll clean out dummy accounts, people that subscribed to you long ago, but no longer have that account. That happens. But just look at your thing and, not just my channel, but other channels you subscribe to. Just look that over. Sometimes your subscriptions drop off. And I don't think it's not intentional. It's just, I think it's just in the system. Okay. But yeah, look into that. And, something crazy's going on. But it is what it is. YouTube's always had some things going on. But anyway, thank you so much. I had a great time tonight. The stories about the young Black women that, lost their lives, that's sad. I don't like to look at that. I really don't like to talk about it, but we need to. And we need to take that Black femicide serious. Okay. And look, you might not be able to hit the streets and stop it, but what we can do is we can look for red flags, ladies. Ladies, look for the red flags. I do want to have a show on that. I think that's important. We'll get that together. And ladies, if you would do an assignment for me, and we'll do it on a show later if you want to, is those of you that aren't in a relationship that want to be, write a love letter to your future husband, ladies. Okay. And guys, you could do it to your future wife. Write that love letter. And what I want you to do in that love letter is thank them for being the person that they are, the wonderful things they do for you, the qualities they have. Now, look, this is like you thinking this is fictional right now. But if you think about it and you run it through your mind and you say, well, he's sweet, he's always giving me a hug when he comes home from work or whatever, you write that down, and these are qualities you look for, what you want in that special guy, ladies, right? This is a good exercise, because then you start thinking what you want out of the man you're looking for, right? Instead of, just looking at him because you're attracted to him. You want the qualities too. So I would say do that. Not just for this show, do it for yourself. Talk to yourself, and look, talk to God and talk about what you want. The biggest investment you're going to make is marriage, ladies and gentlemen. It's critical you get it right. Seriously. So think about that. But anyway, let me go ahead. And if you would hit the like button on the way out, I'd appreciate it. It helps with the algorithm. The more likes we get, the more interaction, the more people view it, and the views too. The more views we get, the more people will watch it, the more people will share it. Okay. And if you like what I do, give me a like. If you don't, give a thumbs down. Okay. And if you want do some criticism on me, email me and tell me what you think. And it's not bad to get constructive criticism. Okay. I embrace it. As long as you email it to me, you put it in my comment section, then I'm going to just assume you're a troll trying to make me look bad, and I'm going to delete it. But anyway, but I enjoyed tonight. Thank you guys. And let's keep those ladies' names on our mind. And look, pray for them, their families, their children. It's a shame that these beautiful women had their whole life ahead of them, and because of some dusty idiot, they took something that was precious, beautiful, a blessing. Okay. But anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Have a good night. God bless you and your families. And Indiana Mom, God bless you and your family. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.
Love you.
Love you too. Have a good one.